Please don't. Off. Man, what a. I don't know. I'm currently in a hospital parking lot. I've been putting my inverter onto my lower cabinet, connected the solar, and I'm just about to turn it on and see whether it works. I've got a breaker switch in the middle, so worst case scenario, there's some protection. I'm gonna actually put on some rubber, or some of my rubber lined gloves, just because I would like to be careful about what I'm doing. So right now I'm gonna flip the breaker and then the inverter on. So first thing is the breaker. Oh shit, holy shit. I guess this was already on. I thought that was the off position. Okay. Ooh. I don't know what BP means. Let's take a look. Let me take you off the thing here. So this is what we're looking at. We've got 137 volts. I don't know what BP is. Bypass? I don't know, but I think this is a good sign.
Hi, Future Chris here. This is not a good sign. This is basically saying that the battery is not currently available. I don't know this at the time, and I'm carrying on my day like this is all great and fine. So there's going to be a recurring theme over the next few videos of the many problems I have had in trying to get my power system figured out. This is simply the first sign.
I can turn it on. This is not on yet. Ooh. Okay, now we have solar power coming in. 75, 70. I have 67 kilowatts coming in. Oh, that's 670 watts. It's a very cloudy day. 67 kilowatts is pretty good. Yeah, 670 watts. I don't like the buzziness of this thing, but you get what you pay for. This is saying 60 hertz. I'm going 680 watts coming in on a cloudy day.
Hi, Future Chris here again. So this is not 670 watts, as I think it is at the time. I'm very excited because I'm thinking that I'm getting 670 watts on a cloudy day. This is not what is happening. I'm getting 67 watts, not even 100 watts. Now, a lot of this is to do with the inverter. It has no reason to pull more than it's needed. So I'm getting excited thinking that I'm getting half of my solar on a cloudy day, which I probably am. However, my inverter is only pulling 67 watts because 67 watts is the charge that my inverter uses just to turn on. So as of right now, the inverter is just saying, I'm pulling power to use for me. So ignore my excitement. It is completely misguided.
I don't know what any of this stuff means, but I have power coming in, 680 watts on a cloudy day, which is nice. Nothing is on fire. I'm not dead. So things are pretty nice. I feel so weird that I have power coming in from the outside, electricity from the sun for free. It's a really weird feeling. I'm very happy. The fact that the inverter works and it's taking the solar in as well, that's really good. Cool. That means I can do the rest of my stuff. Okay, let's figure out the rest of the electrical. Wow, this is crazy. As you can see here, this is the cabinet that I made for my desk, and these are the electronics. So just to show you what we've got going on here, we have this is the inverter charger. So what this does is take the solar power, which is DC electricity, and it converts it into AC electricity. It also charges the battery as well. It takes the DC battery, turns that into AC electricity as well. This is the battery that stores all of the electricity from the solar power. When the solar is not working, i.e. at nighttime, then the battery is what gives the truck power. This is my basic sort of electronics board. What I have is, I have my disconnect switch down here to my battery. This is the distribution panel. So this takes the 24 volt from the battery and this distributes it out to different places. So I'll have one cable going directly to the inverter, and I've got one cable going to my 24 volt appliances. So that's going to be my lights, that is going to be my water pump. What else is 24 volts? Lights, my water pump, my USB outlets as well, and my fridge as well. So that's all the 24 volt. Then the power also goes to this 12 volt step down converter. So what it does is it takes the 24 volts, turns it into 12 volts, and takes it to this fuse block. And that's going to be my 12 volt appliances, the stuff that cannot go on 24 volt. So that is going to be my extractor fan and pretty much just my extractor fan. And then all of the negatives go to the negative distribution box, and that goes back to the battery. So what I'm going to do now is test the solar to make sure that it's working into my inverter. Then I'm going to test the battery and this separate to the inverter for now, just to make sure that my wires work, etc., and just sort of finalize my wiring. Then the second half of the day is I'm going to build 2 more cabinets for my kitchen. I'm going to build 2 kitchen cabinets so that I can get my sink ready, and I also have a place to put my fridge, which I've just got. And what I'm also planning on doing is putting down my underlayment so that my floor is not just OSB, which it is right now. So that is my ambitious day today. I'm just going to try and do as much as I can in the time that I have. So let's go. So I spent a lot of time trying to get these solar cables. I wanted to get them safe, but they've just been quite loose, like coming out and then not connecting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move on quickly to the battery. I'm going to connect the battery to the rest of the unit to test out my 12 and 24 volt circuit with my little multimeter. It's a little bit irritating because when it's overcast, I would like to have at least some energy coming in, but it's like 70, 75 watts of power coming in, which is not great. Yeah, but it's all part of the process, I guess. So yeah, let's see if we can get the 12 volt stuff working. Ouch. Okay, had some lunch and gone to the hardware store, got everything I need. So now I'm going to chop these things into cabinets, floor, underlayment, and panels for the wall. That's everything that I'm going to do right now. So there you go. cold again. So I now have all of my pieces that I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces for my cabinets. So I have one battery that's dead. So I'm going to be sharing the big battery between this and this, my drill and my driver. And I'm going to be putting together these cabinets. I still want to get this underlayment on after I've done these, so let's see how far I can get before I just crash. Let's go. So we have the sink done. One down, one more to go. This is tiring, man. This is so tiring. I also need to put the legs on this as well, but we're getting closer. We are getting closer. So I think this is the reality of building a van that a lot of people don't show. I am currently trying to build it out within the space of the van, working in 100 square foot of space, whilst trying to cut underlayment, build cabinets within this space. And I think that this is the reality that a lot of people don't talk about, which is the amount of twisting, turning, moving things around and awkwardly trying to do stuff in a very small space. You see a lot of videos and Instagram stuff of, like, you know, people with their friends, their family, like building this stuff out in their backyard, which is great, but not everyone will be doing that. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be doing it alone, and a lot of people aren't going to have big yards. I wanted to show a little bit of the reality. You know, there's still the lights on fitted in, and well, it doesn't look very good right now, and it's awkward. I'm trying to cut my underlayment to allow wires to come through so that I can then put in my cabinets that I built, attach them into the walls with the underlayment underneath, and start making progress on adding the wall panels. This is the reality. This is the mess. I will show you a full view. So this is the reality of how it's looking today. Absolutely a shambles. There is my desk. This is not some romantic building it out in the middle of a forest or a field or the desert with some mountains in the background. This is building out a truck in a city. I'm definitely not complaining. It's been fun, challenging, using parts of my brain that I haven't used in a long time. So I'm going to crack on. So I put the underlayment down on the floor now. So that is covering all the OSB that was there, and it's just going to make it easier to put my vinyl floor down. I cut a hole in my kitchen cabinet. All the wires from the electrics can come through into this unit. This is where my fridge is going to be. There's going to be a wire going across here to the sink, where my faucet is going to be, my sink, my water pump, my water tanks down here. One end of my desk is going to be drawers, and this is obviously my electrical cabinet, which has all the electrical from the other side of the room. All of my electric goes in and out of the roof and the walls above my desk. So it doesn't look like there's a lot changed, but the underlayment means that now I can start bolting cabinets into walls, making things semi-permanent. So my next thing that I want to do is finalize the wiring. So make sure that I have everything labeled, where I want it to go, etc., etc. Connected up to the electrical unit. Then put in one wall here, because this is going to be fit into the wall. This is going to be fit into the wall. Putting the cabinets in and then the wall paneling afterwards. So that is my plan. Let's move forward. The inverter charger seems to be working. There was a spark, or there has been a couple of sparks when I turned it on, which is freaking me out quite a lot. So I think that there's some sort of loose connection. I'm not 100% sure. It seems to be charging. It's saying that it's taking energy from the sun and it's putting it into the battery as of right now. It's overcast as hell. So the fact that it's getting 100 is actually quite shocking. Yeah, I need to look into this a little bit more. Tentatively working right now. I'm not the most confident in it, but I do have a breaker for the solar, a breaker for the battery, so I should have some amount of safety behind it. I'm just going to be very, very careful. And then someday this week, I'm going to take it all off. I'm going to rearrange it so that it's neat, tidy, and not looking like it's going to collapse. And there's no chance of scariness. Yeah. Okay, I've got other shit to do, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go do that stuff. I have just wired up half of my 24-volt system, and I've got a headache from the burning rubber. I've been using shrink wrap, so I've been heating it up with a lighter, and it's giving me a headache. So quite a lot done. I'm going to tidy up, and I'm going to come back first thing in the morning. But I need some water, I need some fresh air, and I need to relax for 10 minutes and then go to bed. Whew. There's been a lot done though. I'm now officially clocking out. So yesterday I spent time getting my desk ready, getting that so that I have a workspace. I also spent some time getting the floor in as well, the underlayment for the floor, and finally screwing in my cabinets into the wall. Today is kind of technically my last full day before I just pull all my stuff into this place. So my agenda today is that I'm going to create the upper cabinet, or the upper cabinets on both sides, so that I have places to put stuff. It's going to be pretty much equal on both sides, to be honest with you. I'm going to get them done fairly quickly. They're not going to be the best looking cabinets in the world by a long shot, but they will hold something, and I can finish them off in a nice way later on. That's my plan for the day. In the meantime, I am currently on a very, very overcast day. It's 9 a.m. I'm pulling 200 watts in from the sun. That is charging up my battery as we speak. So that makes me happy that even on a really crappy day, that I'm getting some sort of power. Because I did have a panic when I first connected it, that it was only pulling like 70 or less than 70 watts of power. And I was just like, oh my God, they're broken. I'm gonna have to do some fixes, but they seem to be working at this moment in time, which makes me happy. So I have free energy coming in. That is charging my phone. It's gonna charge these lights and is gonna power everything on my system. So yeah, I'm gonna carry on with my day, and let's see how much we can get done today. It's a big old race today. So fun event happened whilst I was adding this onto the wall. Seems secure enough for now, but just an aside from that, my extractor fan started going up and down. I could hear it making different noises, and I was like, that's a bit weird. And then I looked at the power and I was like, okay, the power seems to be coming through okay. I don't know what's going on, don't know why it's going up and down so much. And then it started to smoke, and then it just stopped completely. So first thing I did is turn it off, obviously. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. There's a fuse, etc. What I did is that I put it on the 24 volt circuit, and it's not 24 volts, it's 12 volts. So I've blown my extractor fan, which really sucks. Fortunately, it's a cheap extractor fan, so I can rebuy it and reinstall it with minimal messing around. But yeah, what an idiot. Yeah, I'm a silly boy. I'm a silly boy. But this is what part of the learning process, I guess. So yeah, I have now a glorified skylight with an insect screen on it. Oh man, this is going to be interesting as it starts to heat up.
Hi, Future Chris here. So this is the part where things really take a turn for the worse for me. All of this footage is pretty chaotic, so I will edit it down to make it as palatable as possible. But just bear in mind that I am trying to diagnose and fix in real time with a very, very strong deadline ahead of me. I have to move out as soon as possible, and having power is absolutely crucial to that. So this is what happened.
So I had a panic emergency. Today's chaotic. Basically my solar charger went off, making a clicking noise, and then it was on, and it kept on going on and off. And I was just like having panicked moments of just like, what is going on? The battery was working, but the solar wasn't. And then it was like the voltage was sort of spiking and then going down again. So I went back, had my lunch to regroup a little bit because it's been a stressful day. Then I just came back and was like, okay, electricity is very, very important. I need to figure this out ASAP. I can't just let my battery die down and not have any way to charge it. I took a look at it, and it seems like the connectors going into the inverter, I had trouble connecting them. It was clicking on and off randomly. I tried multiple connectors, couldn't figure it out. What happened is, the first time I connected these, I thought these were for crimping, where you squeeze it and put it in. And I tried that and it would never fit. So in the end, I left these off, twisted the wires and put it in. The strands were coming out, causing a short circuit and all that sort of stuff. So now I just have these, and I have put the shrink, whatever, heat wrap so that they're attached on, and they slide in perfectly. There's no squeezy at the end, and it seems to be working. So my solar is back to normal. It is, God, it beeps so loud. Yeah, it is like 300 watts or whatever at the moment, which the weather and stuff is fine, and time of day. So it is charging my battery again. So that's good. But obviously that set me back a little bit in terms of getting the upper cabinets finished. So it's probably going to be a late one tonight, but at least I have power. So now I'm going to carry on with this. As you can see, it's not looking great. It's janky AF, but soldiering on as normal. So I feel confident that I've got my solar panel finally figured out, and I can get this finished. And then tomorrow I've still technically got all day to figure a lot more stuff out anyway. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back, always. Back to work. If you look too closely at them, you'll see that they're terribly put together. However, from far back, they're okay. They're actually, they're sturdy. They feel sturdy. I was worried about them not being very sturdy. I wouldn't hang from them, but they're sturdy and they can hold some weight, I think. So that's good. It definitely feels a little bit more enclosed in here, which not in a bad way, but I think I was just so used to it being so open that now having cabinets is like, oh shit, I have cabinets. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with the way that they've turned out. I'm so tired. I've got to go back to my place in a second because someone's picking up my old desk. I'm just giving it away on Facebook, so they're gonna pick it up. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
So I went back. The woman who was picking up the desk decided to not show up, which was frustrating. So I went back to the truck. And when I got back to the truck, the inverter had turned itself off. There was no power. The battery looked like it was dead. And there was no solar coming in, so there was zero power in the truck whatsoever. And I couldn't figure out what was happening. And I knew that if I didn't at least take a look at it and try to figure it out now, then I was going to be in real trouble, because tomorrow was essentially move day. So I went through and tried so many different things. Taking it apart, changing some of the components. The inverter display was just filled with stuff that I didn't understand. I could not wrap around my head as to what was going on.
I'm filming this because I'm adding the positive last. This should be off. And I don't know why it sparked before, so what I'm trying to do is connect it the right way, but I just don't want it to spark again. I'm just not 100% sure whether it's doing the right thing or not. Okay. Okay. So in theory, this should be the right way to do it. In theory. I just don't know why it short-circuited before. No idea why. And it's quite worrisome that I don't know why, because I don't want it to happen again. And I'm worried about it happening again. So I want to make sure that I'm doing things safely and without problems. Please don't. Fuck me! Off! Fuck! Fuck, man. What is going on, man? Am I doing this the wrong way around? Fuck me. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. This is off. I'm not in a good mood right now. I'm not in a good mood. Like, what the fuck? Fucking fried it. Can I do something? I'm feeling pretty stressed out right now and a little bit scared. I think I've just been doing some research. I think it's because I didn't put a breaker between the battery and the inverter. I asked ChatGPT, I did some Googling. I'm looking at the manual as well. And doing it this way, if there is any problem and it's an overcurrent, then it will trip. So I'm going to give it one last try. This way. I'm going to give it one last try this way. What time is it? Fuck, it's 10:30. This place closes at 11.
Hi, Future Chris here. I actually found out this night that the place doesn't close at 11. So let me update you on that at the end of this video.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it one last try. And this is going to be the last thing that I'm going to do. That's a scary thing to say. This is going to be the last thing I'm going to do for my job tonight. I'm going to wear rubber gloves. I'm scared. I'm actually quite scared. Okay. Putting it on a breaker. I should have done it the first time. Okay. This is going to be take 3. This is doing it as recommended with the breaker. Positive first. So we're connecting the positive first, even though it's a little bit awkward. It's not the best looking connection, but okay. Breaker is broken. So there's nothing, no power is going to go through that right now. Then we have this. Oh man, I'm quite nervous. Quite nervous. Quite nervous about this. Okay, the breaker is on. There's a breaker right there. Okay, so this shouldn't be doing fuck all. Okay, then we got the breaker. Okay, breaker is on. Shit. No idea. Okay, let's turn it off. Let's turn it off. I'm stressed. I'm very stressed. I'm ready for bed. If nothing turned on, then it means maybe that battery's dead. I don't know. Don't know. Yeah, I'm ready for bed. Fuck, man. What a One thing I've got to say though is that the multimeter is showing something coming out of the battery. 28. Maybe this is fried, but it also wasn't powering anything on the circuit as well. I don't know, I'm done. I'm stressed out. And I've got to go.
So, as you can tell by the end of this ordeal, I didn't manage to fix it. I was getting closer to figuring out what was going on, but I just couldn't fix it. And I was so frustrated. And I wanted to do all of this before the storage place closed at 11 o'clock, so I wasn't going to get locked in. So, 5 to 11, I left my truck and I walked up to the gates. I entered my code on the gate and it wouldn't work. It said invalid time. And I tried it 3, 4, 5 times, I phoned up the emergency number they give you at the storage place if there's any problems. I left a voicemail. I was basically locked in. So I had to climb the gate, basically. I had to jump the gate. And then I phoned up and I left them a voicemail message saying, look, you're going to see security footage of somebody jumping the gate. If you see it now, don't call the cops. It's me. I'm actually leaving. If you look at the footage, I'm leaving the place and I'm going home. I thought this place closed at 11. I don't know what's going on. I later found out that the place didn't close at 11. It closed at 9. So even though I was rushing and went through all of that stress, it had closed 2 hours earlier and I'd basically been locked in. So with all of this stuff happening, I have managed to figure out, I go through in the next few videos what happened and figuring out what the power issue was. But at the end of this night particularly was probably one of my worst nights in building the van, especially with the fact that I had to move the next day with knowing that there was no power. So that was the end of that day. The next video will be my official move day.